All right, fellas, another episode of Unbiased Sports Talk. Got the Fantastic Four right here. B, Miles, looking like you about to definitely spit some hot balls. I got Molly Mahl, Coach Mills, always ready for violence. Oh yeah, this topic right here is gonna get his panties wet right here. I know if you guys heard about the Cam Newton comments. Cam Newton has struck again. So Cam Newton comments about Dak Purdy and Tua being game managers, not game wreckers. He also mentioned the game wreckers in the league was Lamar, Rodgers, and Mahomes. Ron, do you agree with Cam Newton's statements?
Yeah, but I don't think that's a slight though. To be honest with you, I don't even need to go that deep. Yeah, I agree. You have game managers, and you have game records. You got guys that literally can just take over the game and win a ball game. And you got other people who can manage a game to make sure that the game is not lost. But there's no not in between, honestly.
Marlon,
Again, like I can reiterate his thoughts. I didn't see it as a slight. When I think of game managers, it means somebody who literally lets the game flow to them. They don't have to do anything extra or make the great impacts like a game manager does. Like I said, literally, we look at these past few weeks with the Cowboys. If their defense doesn't put up numbers, we see how Dak manages the game. It's not a great look. But, on the other hand, a game manager, I think of Peyton Manning in his last Super Bowl. He didn't do anything extraordinary, but he did what was necessary to make sure his team stayed in place to win. A game record, they're going to do something out of the ordinary crazy, like Lamar breaking off a 60-yard run. A game manager is not going to do that. But somebody who literally has so many, like, pick apart at one point, it's going to be a game record. But Purdy, he's going to make a smart play. He's going to do the smart thing. He's going to pace out the game. There's nothing he's doing that's crazy fast, crazy extraordinary. So, yes, I can agree with Cam Newton's comments.
Go ahead, E. You already know you next. I'm taking notes.
I would say I don't disagree. I mean, you can debate about who you feel is a game manager or breaker. But I would argue to say that most of the quarterbacks are just trying to manage the game outside of your very top tier quarterbacks that can really break it open. And you guys already mentioned some of those guys. I mean, again, I think of folks like even Michael Vick back in the day, Atlanta. I mean, breaks the game wide open, obviously with his feet. But there's very few guys who have that capability to go to that level and really just take over the game as a QB. The rest of them are just trying not to turn the ball over, hand the ball off, make the right play, and put their team in a position to win. But guys who can really take over like that, I don't think there's that many. Go ahead.
Hey, before you go, Javon, and it's not to say that you can't be both, because there's plenty. I feel like in the all times list, like they're capable of doing both. I guess it's just at the end of the day, because it's everybody's opinion. What are you the most at the end of the day, right? Because I remember at one point, Dak was somebody. Now he's just a quarterback.
Okay. You done? just need to know if you're done.
Yeah.
Marlon, can I talk? Just need to know. Just before we get to all of this. First and foremost.
You got the green light.
No slight to Cam. No disrespect to him. I respect him and his opinion. Anybody who's played that far as a professional has achieved as much as he's achieved. I gotta respect that man. I disagree with his take. For multiple reasons. The way he's using a game manager sounds in a negative way. He's making it seem as a game manager is a bad thing. Your direct part of your job is to manage the game. That's your number one goal. Manage the game. And the three game managers lead the league in most of the statistics. So if they're leading the league in most of the statistics, they're doing their job at a very high level. Now, Dak is not a great game manager. So I'm confused on some of the players that he put in certain categories. I agree with Ron. Some of these people started off as game managers and became elite. Yes. Brady started off as a game manager. Like it or not, people consider Joe Montana a game manager. So, but they're two GOATs. So a game manager is not a bad thing. But if you really look up what a game manager is Trent Dilford. A game manager is a quarterback who, like you said, who just hands the ball off, maybe 20 passes. Now, if you really want to know the definition of a game manager, I don't really agree with his definition of what a game manager is first and foremost. Yes, I don't feel he's being disrespectful of saying what a game manager is, because a game manager has to manage the game. He has to manage the game. If Cam was managing the game at a high level, he'd still be playing.
I'll say this.
But hold on. Before I'm done.
Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Now, my personal opinion of Cam's take, I feel it's a little biased. I feel like he's a little bit bitter coming from his perspective. So I feel like to him, he feels like he's still better than half those guys in the league. So his take is going to be somewhat biased. Go ahead.
So that part right there is what I've seen some of these analysts and some of the folks on TV get at Cam, the messenger, and not really go after what we just did and talk about, again, your first part. What's the definition? What's your reasoning? What's your thought process behind defining these things? And then coming up with some sort of analysis to say, okay, this is who I think is in this category. This is who I think is that category. So that's what I didn't like about some of the takes that were being on TV, talked about Cam and whatnot, attacking him
immediately about his dressing, his this and that.
Right.
I gave you my perspective, nothing personal about Cam. I'm not talking about his outfits. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking
but you
about.
Did. You did speak to why his personality, with his thought process, you believe as to he might have a little bit of a bias or reason that he's coming at certain players because you think he might be better. I don't know what Cam's thought is. I'm not even going to try to
I'm not attacking Cam. I'm giving you my perspective, the same way Cam gave his perspective, right? I'm not.
That's fair. That's fair.
There's no attack. I'm saying from my perspective. I said that's an opinion. That's not a fact. I'm saying from my opinion, it seems that he could have a biased statement. And your statement, being that you played in the league, me and you have we have no stakes in this. You feel me? We didn't play in the league. None of us feel that we're better than any of these guys. So we're not going to feel a certain type of way. It's all I'm saying. And I could be totally wrong, but all I'm saying from my perspective, because Cam has also stated certain things that lead me to that perspective of when he said he was better than half. I'm not going to say he was better. I want to paraphrase a quote, but I thought he said that he thought he was at least better than the 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. Like he wasn't as bad as the 32. Basically, he could have started for somebody.
But isn't that still your comment still drifting away from the actual point that's been talked about?
Oh, but I gave all my points. And then I said that. I didn't start off with that.
It's addition to.
I gave multiple points, and then I said my personal perspective of his statement.
And I agree with.
Don't get wrapped up on my points. Don't get wrapped up on my personal perspective. I'm not attacking him for saying that I think he's biased. Anybody can feel somebody's biased.
True.
All right, but in that same right, when you brought up Trent Dilfer, essentially his job.
All right, bro.
That's
You got
thing,
two
right?
more. You got one.
You're right. And look, I see how they moved on to MMA. We left football. We all look. It's all good.
Hey man, plug that mic up or something. Something ain't right.
MMA.
What is going on?
Hey, Mahl, fix your mic for a second. Get 2 minutes and let me chime back in on this on this cam thing.
Yes, Ron. Get your thoughts out, please.
Because here's my problem with here's a problem with this. I'm gonna piggyback off of E. The problem is also where, goddamn remix. The problem is, the problem is also is the last memory of Cam's play, and so when people see his last memory, is like, who are you to be having these comments about someone, about whether or not someone's a game manager and that someone's a game record based on how your career ended? Because it's kind of going back to this with Peyton, right? Peyton missed majority of his final year. The dude Osweiler had to finish it off and everything, right? But at the same time, what I keep on realizing, whether it's basketball or football, once you get a championship, it feels like a lot of these guys are just are untouchable. Like, it's like, oh, he solidified, he has a championship. So that's just my comments about the situation.
You lost me a little bit. You drifted. Where we go?
Yeah, I think he getting into what I was getting at a little bit, is that some people are attacking Cam like he can't have an opinion, and he's probably one of the people in media that is qualified to have an opinion. So I didn't like that there was some personal attacks coming at him, like what Ron's talking about, because people believe, oh, well, he wasn't that great, or he's not qualified to speak. It's like, well, majority of you guys never played at all. So, but you talk about sports all day long. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to allow Cam to give his opinion on it. Again, if you have an issue with what he stated, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear your analysis on what he stated.
I don't really.
But those people
care about attacking nobody. Whoever attacked that man should have found a little bit better way to approach it. I feel like that's lazy. You feel me?
Thanks.
I started off. We're gonna talk about the facts. The facts is, I don't agree with the game manager quote. I don't agree with the people who say we're game managers. I don't even think Dak's a great game manager. I think he's a bad game manager. I also think that if Dak don't play well, they don't win. Defense ain't carrying them like the Niners and the Ravens defense. Those are the better defenses. So, and I didn't totally agree with everything he said. I agree with some things. I didn't agree with everything. A game manager is not a negative thing to me. Game manager has to be. Most game managers got rings. I don't know too many of the game records that got rings.
Fair enough.
Fake. Cam. Only person he said was a game record in there that got rings is Mahomes and Rodgers.
Yeah, based on what he said, yeah.
And is Rodgers a game record? I don't. What is a game record? Is Vic a game record? Is Rodgers a game record? So is Allen a game record?
I think Josh Allen's a game record.
Yeah, so a game record is somebody who's dual threat. Is that what we're saying now? Is we changing a dual threat quarterback to the word game record?
I don't think it necessarily have to be. I don't think he has to necessarily be a dual threat to be a game record. Because, once upon a time.
So define game record, Ron. No, you define game record.
To me, a game record is to simplify it, a person who can make something out of nothing. Right, and a lot of times it doesn't really have to be it don't have to really be your mobility, and everybody has their own way of looking at mobility. Like, I'm not gonna bring up that white boy.
So off script, more off script,
a little bit off script. So what I mean by game record, let me just break it down. I'm not looking for a dude who can run the ball for 15 yards plus. I'm looking for a guy where he feels like the ball is safe in his hands on how to handle the game. And it could be in many ways, right? He could run for 5 yards, but the ball's still in his hand. He could check it down for 5, but the ball's still being made in his decision. I've seen plenty of times with Peyton Manning where all the decisions were running through him. He made multiple comebacks. To me, that's where it could be a mixture. It could be a mixture of both. Honestly, he could be a manager, but he's also wrecking the game on how we look at it in the sense of wrecking the game. Because at the end of the day, for all of us on the screen and all the viewers and stuff, we are all entitled to our own opinion in the sense of a manager and a record and everything, because everybody has their own foundation on how they grew up on the game. And for me, like mobility, when people say dual threat mobility, I'm not looking for a guy to run 20 yards. I'm looking for him to give me what is available. And I've seen plenty of people to do those things.
Before we move on to the next topic, I'm just going to add this. Most of these quarterbacks that we talk about being game wreckers, they take the next leap when they start managing the game better. When Lamar started to actually move better in the pocket, managing the game, look at him. Can't be beat. Number 2 team. Looking a lot better as a quarterback. Josh Allen not managing the game. All the stats in the world, but look at the record. So we can talk about a game record. Cam was a game record. Yeah. One really great season that he can carry that team. I'm going to give you an example. Tim Tebow, a game record. Good enough to win a playoff game, but not consistently good enough to win 3 or all the way through. Game record, I'm not disrespecting the game record. I'm not disrespecting the game manager. But to me, you need both to be great. Because if you're just a game manager, you're just one of those dudes that got 1 ring on a great team. Moving on. Basketball. Your boy, Mr. Choking Nigga. Mr. Slapping Nigga Silly. Mr. I can't stand you and knock you out in the middle of practice. Kick a nigga in the nuts. Draymond has been suspended indefinitely. Ron, you had a question about why indefinitely and why we didn't give him a specific number of games. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm here to ask y'all because I overheard the conversation with Joe Dumars and Stephen A. and about how they wanted to give him a definite. They didn't want to really give him a number. And then when they said that, my overall thought was protection, personally, to protect Draymond by not giving him a number. And I just leave it alone after that. I don't get it.
E, you want to enlighten Ron on maybe why they didn't give him a number, or do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that this with Draymond as a whole, I think they said it, they've laid it out there for us in stating that his history obviously has played a factor. I mean, you've already been suspended twice this season, I think 6 times over his career since 2016 or 2018, whenever that playoff game was. So he's had a history of being physical and doing plays that the NBA has not deemed NBA play. And I feel like he hasn't learned from it. So they're going to now take it a step further and basically not put a timeline on it until they feel he's corrected himself and done the work. What that means and entails, I have no clue. I couldn't even tell you. From what they're basing this on, they're saying that they didn't want to give him a number because they really want him to focus on getting help. It's like, right. So it's like you're not being rehabilitated. We just keep suspending you with no rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. So what's the point? It's not helping if we just suspend you. We really want to focus on Draymond, the player, as the NBA, and focus on him getting help for himself. Right. And that was going to be my next comment. That's what I was going to say. Some people are indicating there may be some off the court issue. Again, I don't know his personal life. I don't know what's going on there, but clearly over the past couple of years, he's gotten into more conflicts again with Jordan Poole and all of that. So that could stem from some sort of issue that's triggering him emotionally that he's dealing with. But who's to say? So again, they know at the organizational level, it seems that way. The way Kerr and his comments that he made, like you said, it seems like Emotionally, they're going to try to work with him, get him some help. And if that's the case, great. Whatever that work is that he needs to do that. And then at that time, they'll reevaluate it and maybe bring him back. There's been a report out there talking about maybe 15 games or so. But indefinitely means, again, there's no timeline to it. So we'll see what happens.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
To be honest, like I said, what y'all saying, it sounds good. Like I said, it's the history of what he's doing, but to me, it's funny just watching sports and people falling over these contacts that they in their personal life wouldn't even flinch from. Like that last hit, let's be honest, there was zero follow through. It had the effect of a slap, but dude fell out. That's why I laughed. He's like getting a towel on his face, like zero redness almost. Like him rubbing it made it worse. But let's be real. Like, yes, his most vicious one was the Steven Adams kick. Rudy Gobert, I think half the league might have sent him flowers for that choke because how he is. I'm just playing. But either way, like I said, yes, his conduct is not basketball conduct. When it comes down to that, there's no excuse for turning around and like open hand slapping somebody in the face. Yes, he pulled your jersey. Don't mean you can turn around and slap him. There's so many other things you could have done besides this. And this is just, of course, the message to the league. Like, all right, the league sending the message. Yes, we see it. All right, you need to sit down for a while. You need to talk to somebody because he's really the only person doing this. In other scenarios, people get in each other's face and they know what's going on. It's like maybe a little shoving match. No real contact like that. But with Dre, it's just in that moment, it's an immediate reaction, no thought to it.
All right. I feel like Dre is been an habitual line stepper. I feel like at the end of the day, I understand where he's coming from. When you've been the emotional leader of a team and your job is to be the enforcer and you go to that line so much, but I feel like now he crosses it a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of it. A little bit more than normal. And in today's game, they can't handle what he's doing because it's a different era. Ron, won't you enlighten what type of era this is? It's soft. There you go. Bars, son. Bars.
Because man, listen, you pampering this topic. You pampering the shit out of this. This ain't ESPN. This ain't ESPN. This is Unbiased Sports Talk. Talk your shit.
All right, what you got?
That man don't got no. You know what the problem is? No one has slapped his ass. That man has no problem.
No one has slapped him back.
No one has slapped. No one has slapped his ass back. You ever seen a bully get slapped his ass back? You know what happened to that bully? That man has gone missing for the rest of the year.
Sometimes you get humble. You start messing with random people.
Talk about he got a problem. And this what kills me. This what kills me about Draymond because he has his own little podcast too. Because every time someone talks to him or something, it's all these basketball dudes, right? Oh, we don't know nothing about basketball. We know enough about this. If you slap me, I slap you the hell back.
No,
I know that.
No, I don't know about you, but that's wrong language. You slap me, I punch you back. I don't hit you with the same force.
No, but again,
you shoot me with a 9. I don't shoot you with a 9 back. We come back with nukes. We don't start off and come back with the same weaponry. No, ain't no levels of how we. No.
Problem is, this is my problem. The NBA is full of shit. Okay, they're full of shit.
Wrong.
Right?
We agree. We agree. But we're gonna move on. Because we know that the NBA is full of shit. But guess what?
No.
And y'all got anything else to say? Because we're gonna move on to the NFL power rankings. And I really want to let y'all know who the top 5 consensus power ranking is this week. The Lions. The Lions. The Lions. The Lions. The Lions. All right, I'm sorry, my bad.
Was that you being petty or you being real? What's going on here?
I don't know.
Dylon effect.
Dylon. He only one that got it. There you go.
I get it. Like I said,
yes.
Tua, everybody else is top
go
5.
get you a sugar cookie or something. So no, I'm No, Marlon. Top 5 census. Niners number 1. Ravens, number 2. Get a little shaky right here. Get a little shaky. Dolphins, Cowboys, Eagles. I need y'all to tell me who don't belong, who needs to move, who needs to be replaced. Bronze, you sound like you about to take a dump.
Ron.
Go and get it out. Look like you needed a release.
Today might be my last day with y'all on this fucking podcast. But let Mahl and E go because y'all's answers might stamp how I feel. Go answer this shit because go. I'm not answering. I'm not going. Go.
I don't have the
paper, rock,
Cowboys
scissors
or
for this
Eagles in
shit.
top
He
5
this.
anymore.
Go ahead,
What was that?
Spark it off.
I took them out. Cowboys, like I said, when your defense can't show up, your offense didn't put up anything. And y'all are struggling on the road. If y'all don't have that flubber goo on y'all cleats that y'all use at the home field, y'all not moving as fast. Cowboys aren't explosive on the road. They're explosive at home because they're undefeated at home. There's something they're doing over there that makes them win better. I don't know. They look faster at home than anything else. Because the Bills looked official in that game. The Seahawks and the Eagles. Let's be honest. They even put it on the board. The Seahawks are undefeated. Pete Carroll's Seahawks are undefeated against the Eagles in their last 8 showings. So this was almost going to happen. I don't know what it is, but Pete Carroll has their number. It's locked in. But I can agree with your top 3. 49ers number 1, Ravens, Miami. I kept KC in there, and at 5, I'm keeping Detroit. I said it, and it's gonna stay there at this moment.
So you took out Miami?
No.
Who you took out?
KC. I took out Dallas and Philly.
Oh, got Philly. Got you. Okay.
E, the floor is yours. Yeah, E.
I don't have any issue with the power rankings. I think that those are your top teams over the year.
Boring.
Yeah, there's other teams that I just think that's the way it's going to stack out in the playoffs.
You're giving me white people potato salad. Right
I don't have any issues with
black people potato salad. Seriously, come on, E. The E freeze.
I think he's right.
Got that Charlie Murphy smile there for
Ron's the one with the issue this week. So go ahead. What you got?
I think this is my problem. I think Javon made this list to emotionally attack me because he's in the playoffs with fantasy. I'm not. He's been telling like, "Oh, you didn't take it seriously. You bowed out." So
tell him why you mad, son.
I feel like he did his list. I feel like he did his list for me. And what bugs me the most is why you got 2 teams up there that just got their ass taxed. One team just lost to a backup quarterback. The other game manager showed us shit doodle against the Buffalo Bills.
Can I ask you? Ho. No disrespect. Did y'all lose to Deshaun Watson?
Who? Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure y'all didn't lose to a backup. I just had a question to ask.
Yeah.
Now, just wanted to make sure. Ron. Yeah.
Well, this is my 5.
Who belongs?
Okay. My 5 is I agree with the first 2. My last 5 will be the Bills, Miami, and the Browns. I got the Browns beating the Lions any day of the week.
They barely scraped past the Bears.
The Bears. The Bears. Ron,
the Lions,
I think
the same team.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Can I ask? No. E, a question. Is his list the most controversial list to you or not?
Ron's?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the power rankings list because I think that again, the teams get beat. So you want to hear me out, but I think it's the end of the season. You have some of those teams where they just don't bring it, and you again, all the NFL teams are good for the most part, so you can't slack off on these teams and think you're gonna win. So I think some of these guys think, all right, we got our playoff spot locked, and they got a little bit relaxed. But when the playoffs come around, those are going to be your top teams. I believe personally. So I think you have some of those teams that Ron brought up that are going to be a tough outing in the playoffs, but we'll see. Go ahead, Ron.
No football team plays on the NBA channel. You watch too much NBA. Your tape is fucking terrible. I can't even hold it back. It's you're really doing the same thing of the other dude who it just does not need to be on this pod. You and Yahoo.
Take the gloves off, E. Get raw with him, E.
Hey. Again, I don't have any skin in the game. So I'm not emotional about it. Again, we'll see what happens when the playoffs come around. I believe these are still going to be your top teams when the playoffs come around. That's just my feelings about it.
What's that movie, Chris Rock? He was calling security. Security! I'll security your ass out here so fast. Your take is killing me.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. Mom's
and then back to Marlon. I ain't done with you, Marlon. You talk about the Bears, but your take last week, the Bears beat the Lions.
Yes, but they're 1-1 against the Bears. 1-1. I'm saying you say like power rankings. Are they putting up powerful numbers?
Ron got a memory like an elephant, bro. That nigga don't forget shit.
Because you can't moonwalk from one thing and then you about to crawl your ass forward back on the other thing about a team.
All right.
Marlon, I would love to see a big ass moonwalk. Come on, let me see that shit.
What's more powerful, 40 points or 20 points?
Huh?
What?
What's more impressive? Putting up 40 or 20?
It all depends on what the other points were and how I beat your
putting
ass.
up 20 on the Bears in a last second field goal or 40 in a regular game.
It depends on who the 40's on.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You're putting up 20 on the Bears.
I think it's
and barely scraping.
Hey,
it's way worse than anybody getting 40 dropped on them. They put 40 on the Broncos.
I'll wait.
We're gonna bring up the man to sign the checks, Russell Simmons. Go and come up here.
Okay. Because if you go look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule, that's what the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. They have like 8 bye weeks this year, dropping bombs, and then when they play a real team or that team that's on his fucking forehead right there, they got their ass. Wow. So the Bears hold on. Listen. This is not your show. This is not your show no more. Stop talking. I am tired of watching.
This not your show. This not your show no more. Stop talking. He's animated.
I'm tired of watching the Dallas Cowboys on the national TV. They are an embarrassment.
I'm just saying.
That's what happens when you drink a Monster and a Sprite.
I said we know the Cowboys gonna fuck up.
Hold on. Let him speak.
No, I'm asking you a question. I asked you a question. Are the Bears a bye week or are they not?
No.
Are the Bears a what?
A bye week.
No, because they beat Detroit.
And the Redskins was in the bye week until like they got rid of everybody.
Let me calm down. Here's the overall point about my top 5. My top 5 is, you know what? All right, guys. All right.